It's no secret that many Disney fans, including myself, are not fans of Bob Chapek. He doesn't seem to value the Disney magic, which many of us feel has been what the company has been built on. But you know who loves Bob Chapek right now? Disney investors, because it seems like Bob Iger did indeed pick the right guy to steer the mouse house through this pandemic storm, because he's holding it together quite impressively. I can't believe it. So many people were hoping for karma to finally catch up with Disney during this pandemic, but keep on hoping, haters, although they have done some really horrible things. But anyway, while they did operate at a loss for Q4 in 2020, it was nowhere near what Wall Street had expected. Wall Street had expected a loss of 70 cents a share, and Disney showed up with just a 20 cents loss per share. That's a 50-cent difference. That's incredible. And the theme of their Q4 2020 call was, Disney Plus rules, California sucks. I loved it. But when it comes to big headlines announcements that we look forward to with these earnings calls, you're going to have to wait until December 10th, which Bob Chapek built up as a real Christmas come early event. They could not have played it up more. Don't miss it. I'll be covering it for sure. But let's discuss what happened today. We have, again, two categories: Disney Plus rules and California sucks. I know it goes rules and drools, but Disney is so upset with California, I decided to go with the sucks. But we're going to start out with the bright spot, and that's Disney Plus. Now, speaking of Christmas, Chapek called Soul at no extra cost to Disney Plus subscribers a holiday gift. It came up when someone from JP Morgan asked about Mulan and the Premier Access experiment, which Disney had just happened to leave out of their presentation. What's this Mulan you speak of? Oh, yes! So Chapek, when asked about it, said, we loved Mulan from a creative standpoint, but unfortunately, it found itself mired in controversies. Controversies they created. But anyway, that's all he said. He didn't give any numbers about Mulan. He didn't talk about how it performed for them. He just said Mulan was an anomaly because of those controversies. And he insisted that there is indeed a future for Premier Access on Disney Plus, and he will speak to that on December 10th. Ooh, December 10th is going to be awesome. It better be after this buildup. As for Disney Plus, original Bob Iger, felt that with all the power moves he'd made during his incredible historic tenure at Disney, the most influential person they've had running the company since Walt himself, and such different people, really just so different in what they contributed. But you cannot undervalue what Iger did for the company. But Iger felt, despite acquiring Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, his true legacy would be the Disney Plus streaming service. And it looks like he was right once again, right on the money. Because in just one quarter, Disney Plus has jumped by over 10 million subscriptions, racing toward 100 million subscriptions, and that it is the only new streaming service that has been able to come anywhere close to Netflix's success. And today is Disney Plus's 1-year anniversary. How sweet it is! They sent me a coupon for 20% off at the Disney store. There's nothing I want to buy because their merch isn't very well designed this year. Not a single good holiday piece of merch. I can't believe it! Although they did actually talk about merch during the earnings call. It's later on in my notes. They blame it on movies. But I'm just telling you, they don't have anything good for me to buy, because I would buy it if they did. I've made a couple Disney store purchases during the pandemic, and there's just nothing I want right now because their designers are doing a crap job. Have you bought anything from Disney, the Disney store? All right, so anyway, it's a big deal to jump by so many subscribers. It's incredible. Chapek also said that while Disney will continue, this is from the question and answer section. So someone said, you guys only make a couple of movies a year. You're real clear. You make like one movie a month. It's only a blockbuster for one of your big brands. You think maybe you might start making some more content, right? And, Bob Chapek said, we're happy with our movie strategy. We're happy making just big blockbusters over at Disney proper. And, that he also hinted that, 20th Century Studios, the old Fox, will make like mostly Oscar contenders going forward. They have a couple of movies they have to finish up that were already in progress. But they did say, Bob Chapek said, we've noticed that new content drives subscriptions. Oh, does it, Bob? Does it, Bob Chapek? And so he said, you can expect for them to be far more prolific when it comes to new content for Disney Plus than it is for traditional venue, things like movie theaters and, network television. Isn't that incredible? Although ABC was pretty impressive in terms of not only the network, but its news division. Anyway, that's not a sexy discussion. All right, but still good for ABC. But anyway, expect a lot of Disney Plus content coming our way. And maybe they'll announce some of it December 10th. Not only new shows, but if any more movies might be heading to the service. Maybe as a Premier Access title, since he said there was more news coming on that front. Fascinating. I made a list of movies I feel should go straight to Disney Plus and other streaming services. I'll put a link down below to that video. As it is, though, they have quite the lineup in the next coming months. I mean, if you're not subscribed to Disney Plus already, and I would genuinely like to know why, besides it's not available in your area. We'll talk about you in a minute, Latin America. But you're certainly going to subscribe in the next month or so, because this is just incredible. The Mandalorian Season 2 wraps up December 18th. Nothing happens on that show, but everybody talks about it. How can you not be watching? And stuff's going to happen by the end of the show, for sure. Then Soul drops December 25th, and then WandaVision comes January 15th. I know many of you were upset that it wasn't earlier, but they have to give Soul some space to do well. They need people to watch Soul. I mean, that would be hugely embarrassing if everyone was just talking about WandaVision. You got to remember, Disney has many children that they love, even though some of you only care about Marvel. All right, so anyway, I think the weekly situation helps Disney quite a bit. I'm actually becoming quite a fan of weekly content. I feel that doing a show weekly keeps it in the conversation much more. I think it's actually the better way to go. I don't like it as a fan. It was a tough transition to make, but I feel that this is the way. I don't think that Disney will ever switch to a binge model, Disney Plus, but maybe someday they'll have more than one show at a time, right? There are a couple of days in the week, Disney, but right now they don't have enough content to have them overlap at all. So, and that's totally understandable. Some of you I've seen online say you watch each Mandalorian episode multiple times. I don't understand you, but if I were someone who programmed for Disney, I'd want to give you the time in your schedule to do that, right? I can't put WandaVision up. They're still rewatching Mando. All right, Hulu Live TV, they mentioned, is also showing growth. That's great, especially as people, less and less people want to have cable, so they can just get the Disney package, the Disney streaming package, which of course is Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, which itself passed 10 million subscribers this quarter. So that's really impressive. I don't have that because I don't want to pay for ESPN. But anyway, maybe someday if I do decide to get rid of cable, maybe I should look into Hulu Live TV. Do any of you have it? What do you think? And Disney Plus is set to debut in Latin America on Tuesday. Oh, how exciting, which includes Mexico. These countries got name checked during the call. Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil. Oh, Brazil. They should have done more for Brazil. I expect Disney Plus to explode once it hits Brazil. Brazil has emerged as the biggest and most active fandom in the world after the United States. I see a bright future in Brazil when it comes to Hollywood. And DC already has a Brazilian Wonder Woman coming up. It would be great if they could get some actual Brazilian characters in these movies and shows, etc. So again, stay tuned to December 10th for more Disney Plus news. I expect them to announce that adult section, that Fox section as well. It's going to be great. All right. Then as for the parks, being able to operate with limited capacity has been a financial company saver for Disney. And so Chapek had very harsh words for California, downright vilifying Governor Newsom, not only for what he's doing to Disney at Anaheim, but the small independent businesses in the area that rely on Disneyland being open. Normally, Disney doesn't care about them at all. In fact, Walt himself looked into finding a way to try and close them down because he didn't like them being around Disneyland. But now, Bob Chapek's like, think of the small independent businesses. Chapek highlighted that Disney park safety measures are based on science, thank you very much, and have proven to be highly effective. And you know what? I'm very cautious. You couldn't get more cautious than me when it comes to the pandemic. And I have to say, I agree with Chapek on this one. I know, but the thing is, Disney has been very good at coming up with and implementing their safety measures. I mean, they're not perfect, but what can be, right? And if people want to work, and if people want to go and be customers at Disneyland, they should be able to. I mean, people are doing irresponsible behavior anyway. And, Disney has proven that, it's one of the least irresponsible things you can do going to their park because they're very, very good at enforcing those rules. I wonder, Florida, some Floridians are pretty nuts, but do you think that Disneyland could have the same success with enforcement that Florida has? I haven't really seen any news stories, except for some weird reason, a lot of people trying to bring guns into the park. America, why? Why America? All right, you're making us look bad. All right, so anyway, they also pointed out they're able to turn a profit in Walt Disney World, although Bob Chapek and his team left out that's because they've stripped it down to the bare minimum in terms of running costs, taking away many of what makes Disney parks special. They fired all the performers, and they're really, a lot of the stores and restaurants aren't open at all or are not open every day. And I think that's really not cool. People have said you're just turning Disney parks into any park, with these changes. But it's not keeping people away, as Disney reported today that, I can't believe this, that for Q1 2021, reservations are already at 77%. They're not even offering discounts, although to go at the beginning of the year is pretty cheap as it is, so maybe that's why. It's pretty cheap to go, January, February, that's an off time. So maybe that's why that's driving that. Although for upcoming Thanksgiving, they said they're near 100% in terms of reservations. And it ain't cheap to go to Disney World during a holiday. It's incredibly expensive. Although several resorts are closed right now, and I don't know if they're factoring that into their calculations. They didn't say what percentage of total rooms or if it was percentage of rooms that are operational. I'm on to you, Disney. Let me see those books up close. Now, there's a vaccine hopefully coming soon. Great news earlier this week. And Ticketmaster announced this week, with the vaccine on the horizon, that you won't be able to buy a ticket or later attend an event without evidence that you have either had a negative COVID test or taken the vaccine. Also predicted by Contagion. Remember when Matt Damon had to walk around with the yellow wristband and show it to get into places? I can't believe it. Although they're going to do it based on your phone. So, obviously it would be easy to replicate a wristband. Although I think that wristband had like a chip in it. We'll see. We'll see what they come up with. But Disney parks, of course, could do the same thing. Movie theaters could do the same thing. And I have to tell you, it would make me feel pretty good and confident if these venues did that. And I would maybe consider being willing to go to these venues if you had to prove that to get in. I'm sure a couple of people would cheat or maybe be able to duplicate it, but not enough, I feel, to make a real difference, to present a real danger. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Finally, when the pandemic hit, many people speculated that Disney, a company built on experiences, would suffer catastrophically. But Chapek, during today's call, highlighted what he calls the Disney difference. And that's the incredibly strong brand of the company overall and the beloved IPs that are under their umbrella. And that people want those things as a part of their life, especially during a pandemic. Do you feel bad? Are you scared? Do you have nothing to do all day? Come on over to Disney World or Disneyland or watch Disney Plus, which is what people are doing. Annual pass holders I think are really helping out during this time because it does not cost any additional money to just go hang out in the park. If you're an annual pass holder in Florida, has it made a difference to you? And if you're in California, do you feel that you would like to be able to go? All right, so anyway, that's what's up with Disney. Good job, Chapek. I can't believe it, but I got to give credit where credit is due. And he is keeping Disney lean, but also mean. They've always been kind of mean now, but he's doing it. All right, so on December 10th, it's obviously going to really be a really big deal, and that's about a month away. So pretty exciting stuff. Share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.